Starting off with Israel. The country's Prime Minister has proposed a unity government, and this political move coming just months ahead of that high-stakes election. Netanyahu has his eyes set on a re-election amid corruption trial, conflicts, the low popularity ratings. In fact, the leader wants political parties to unite under basic principles, and he has invited all political parties to join the effort.
I intend to establish a broad national government, not a right-wing government, not a left-wing government that depends on Arab parties, but a broad national government. Because only in this way, I think, can we reach internal agreements. What does that mean? It means, first of all, enough with boycotts. I am not boycotting anyone. I say everyone will be able to join. They simply need to agree to our basic principles.
So let's just tell you more about this common minimum program proposed by Netanyahu. Anyone who wants to join Netanyahu's broader coalition must basically agree with these 4 principles. Let's break it down. First is recognizing Israel as a nation state of Jewish people. Next, creating a self-reliant Israel on economic, energy, defense front. There's also ensuring outright refusal of the 2-state solution. It says there will be no Palestinian state between Jordan River and the sea. Those are the basic principles. And this also comes amid the ruling coalition's poor polling. Remember, Netanyahu's coalition is projected to get 52 seats in the 120-member parliament. And in this case, the Israeli Prime Minister could require 10 to 12 additional seats to retain power. Opposition parties, meanwhile, are so far silent on the Israeli leader's proposal. Netanyahu's national government gambit coming amid another crucial development. His corruption trial, remember, has entered a final stage. Judges have proposed to fast-track the hearing by conducting testimonies 5 times a week. Netanyahu's legal team has denounced the move. The council equated the trial with the Nazi war criminal trial, who was captured in Argentina by Israeli agents and taken to Israel to stand trial. If Netanyahu is convicted before the elections, he will be barred from seeking re-election. And his pardon request is already pending with Israel's president, who, remember, has refused to pardon Netanyahu until the Prime Minister admits guilt. With us on the broadcast this minute, Dr. Einat Wilf, former member of Israeli parliament and diplomat. Thanks very much for being here on the broadcast. I have to begin by asking you for your assessment of Netanyahu's move. Coming at a time like this, he has been cornered not just domestically but also internationally, coming amid pressure on as far as the Iran war or other factors that are concerned, amid the poll ratings that have also plummeted. So at a time like this, Netanyahu coming up with such a move, to what extent do you see this being well received, if at all, domestically?
Domestically, it is mostly received as a manipulative move. Netanyahu is nothing if not an avid reader of polls. He understands that Israelis have had it with a very extreme government. In many ways, this coalition and this government lost support as soon as they were established. The drop from 64 seats and up to 50 seats happened pretty much as soon as this government was established. And the reason is that Israelis don't like such extreme government. And of course, also the policies have not been well received. He knows that in the polls, Israelis again and again wish for a more centrist, broader government, but they also want a government that actually deals with core challenges. So while Netanyahu appealed to the desire of most Israelis for a broad, centrist government, what he failed to do is to actually say what the government will do, because Israel actually faces now core challenges. Israelis, I think, understand that it's time for us to grow up, to have the mature attitude that does not run away from problems, but actually tries to resolve them. And on the core issues of universal draft, what do we do with the Palestinians who actually do not want a state for themselves if it has to live next to a Jewish state? On these issues, he actually said nothing. And Israelis right now want to solve problems, not to run away from them.
Speaking of problems, when we look at specifically the Israel-Hamas war, when we look at the US-Israel war against Iran, more times than one, the perception or the assessment has been that Netanyahu wants, for example, that the Iran war should drag on for his own political benefit so he can cling on to power. To what extent do you think that is something that has widely been noted on the ground in Israel? Also speaking of how his war motives really have been seen as far as the sentiment on the ground is concerned.
First, it's important to say, amazingly, as I said, this government lost support pretty much as soon as it was established. And this division of the Israeli 120 seats to 70 for the opposition and 50 for the coalition has remained almost unchanged through the wars, through the ups and downs. So that actually had little to no impact. In terms of the wars themselves, I mean, they enjoy broad support in the sense that Israelis understand that the kind of Palestinian invasion from Gaza and massacre is something that we can never again allow them to do to us, and that we have to ensure that this will never be repeated. The completely unprovoked attack from Lebanon by a body that undermines Lebanese sovereignty, Hezbollah, we also need to ensure that Lebanon finally becomes a functioning sovereign state that can control its territory and does not allow.
But those war objectives those war objectives at the moment do not stand fulfilled. At the same time, we're looking at the kind of friction that has unfolded between Trump and Netanyahu as well. What would you say should the immediate priority be for the leadership in Israel, really, when it comes to the current situation?
So I think domestically, of course, the greatest priority is the universal draft. In terms of our outside, I think the key challenge and the key priority should be for Israel to make it very clear that it has a very positive vision for everyone around us. We want Lebanon to be a fully functioning sovereign state that can finally control its territory and not allow bodies like Iran, Hezbollah, the Palestinians to meddle its internal affairs and to conduct attacks from its territories. We want the Palestinians to finally want to build something for themselves rather than to focus on destroying the Jewish state. And we want the people of Iran to be free. So I think that is the top priority.
We've seen the kind of criticism that's come the way of Israel for its moves in the Gaza Strip, first and foremost, and of course followed by the kind of ways in which its war objectives have not really been fulfilled as far as the Iran war is concerned. We're leaving it there for the moment, though completely running out of time. Thanks very much for being here on the broadcast and sharing your perspectives. Thank you.
Thank you.
To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.